All right, guys, welcome to the Tutor Learning Center. This is JD Tutor, and I'm here to teach you more of y equals mx plus b. All right, guys, now previously I made 3 other videos. If you want to go ahead and watch part 1, part 2, part 3, you can get caught up. It tells you everything in detail on how to solve y equals mx plus b and also how to graph it. Very in detail videos, very detailed videos. So watch those. So now today I'm going to do example 2 from chapter 6, equations and inequalities. Now this is some homework packets that have been distributed down from Live Oak High School in Watson, Louisiana. And so the students come here, we help them solve their problems and discuss it in detail on how to do all of their examples and practices and things like this. These are practice packets. So what I'm going to do right now, example 2 from that chapter 6. So let's get started. So remember our formula is y equals mx plus b, chapter 6. Okay, and then example 2. Okay, now it gives us two examples, 2 problems, equations to solve, and then we'll go into graph them. So the first one, we'll do practice A is 2x plus y equals 3. And underneath that, but I'm going to put it to the side, x plus y equals 1. All right, so let's solve. Just kind of put a line there. Separate it. So let's solve. We want to solve for y. Let's solve for y. So we're going to do minus 2x minus 2x. And then we're going to cancel out the 2 x's. And then we're going to have y by itself. All right, so now we get y equals 3 minus 2x, but this is not in standard form. We need to put it in standard form. So y looks like our minus 2x here. And guys, let me tell you about this minus, the plus and minuses right away. Is a lot of my students, they always forget to put it there because they don't realize that that actually goes with the problem. So minus that negative sign goes with the 2x. So they just think it's just something out there, but it's really not. It actually goes with the 2x. So be careful when you're transferring that over that you get the whole thing, the negative 2x. All right, so let's do that. Y equals negative 2x plus 3. And now also some things that they don't realize is that when this 3 comes over, it's still a positive. Okay, it was a positive before, it's still a positive now. So they think when you drag it over, it's a negative. I remember as a kid, sometimes I had that issue too. I would think that this would be drug over as a negative, but it's really not. Okay, so y equals negative 2x plus 3. So now let's get y by itself here. So we'll take out the x's. Okay, cancel the x's, and then y equals 1 minus x. Now the same thing, that is not in standard form, so we need to put it in standard form, negative x over here. I'm sorry for mx, negative x. And also, guys, some people don't realize that this, they're like, well, where's the m? Okay, right here, there is an m there. It's a 1. It's a silent 1, secret 1 there. X is 1x. So that's where that is right there. So let's see. So y equals negative x plus 1. Okay. So now let's graph. Let's graph. Think I'm making it big enough? Okay. Now, in my last videos, I showed you how to graph, but really quick for time constraints, because I took a lot of time on that. So here we start at the starting point of y and y, the y-axis, the y-intercept, right? Both the same thing. All right, so this is our starting points here. Let's start with this one. Positive 3 on the y-axis, on the y-intercept. Now, there's only 2 places you can go. You can go in the positive area, and you can go in the negative area for this or this only. It's always the one at the end, okay? So let's see, this is positive. So 1, 2, and 3 on the positive side of the y. Okay. All right, so now we got our 3. We want to build off of that 3 and come over here for -2. So do we go down 1, 2? No, we don't. We're actually not even going to be on this axis. We need to push away from the axis and go down, push away. So do our rise over run. Okay, so let's see here. Let's just put like a 1, a secret 1 at the top there and make it a half. Okay, so we're going to push it over 1, push it over 1 and down 2. 1 and a 2. Okay, so here and here. Okay, I'm going to get rid of these arrows here. All right, and so now we've got that checked off. All right, so now this side. We start at our 1, and like I said, there's only, for the y-axis, there's only 2 directions you can go, positive and negative, and that's a positive 1. So a positive 1 right here. Now we're going to build off of that. Okay, so now remember, there's a secret 1 here in front of the x, a secret 1. I went ahead and put that in for you. So, but now also we need to try to put a little imaginary 1 at the top so we can push off over and down, because that's a negative. All right, so we're going to push off 1 and down 1. Okay, all right. So we have your 3 and 1, 3 and 1 here on the y-axis. Then we pushed off by 1, 1 and 1. And then we pushed off by 2 and 1, and it gave us those. So I'm going to erase these little arrows. Okay, all right. So 1, 1, 2, 3, and then over 1, down 2, 1, 2. Okay, and then 1 right here, and then push off by 1 and down 1, off by 1 and down 1. Okay, a little more complicated for beginners, but we'll get through it. So now let's connect our dots here. Okay. All right, guys, I'm not the world's greatest at drawing this. So what they want you to do is connect, because these 2 lines are going to kind of connect down here at the bottom. And I'm not the greatest drawer. So let's see here. So they're going to connect at, looks like the coordinates 2 and -1. So let's just go down there so I can have a better time connecting. So we want to do -1 down here on the y-axis. So -1 and looks like 2. Looks like that. Okay, now let's see if my handwriting can get down somewhat to that. Okay. Looks like, oh, not too bad for there. And, oh, not too bad for there. All right, guys. Maybe I've drawn this quite a few times for my students, and maybe I've gotten used to it. So, all right, so guys, take a good hefty picture of that penmanship, okay? So, all right, there you have it. And this connects right here at to -1. And that's what they want you to connect with. So now they're going to use to -1. Okay, so let's use that. All right. So the line